had a layover in Doha, Qatar for 20 good hours. And I was like, I'm not gonna stay in this airport for 20 hours. Whichever the case, this was preempted for sure because I booked my trip with a deliberate layover so that I can be able to go and explore Doha. And so this video is to tell you how you can as well go ahead and explore Doha deliberately, or if you find yourself on a long layover, which is maybe like more than 6 hours or 8 hours, 12 hours going on, then you can also take advantage of that layover. Instead of staying at the airport, you can go outside and explore Doha and kill one or two cities with one travel, if you may. So I booked this trip to Singapore, and I will definitely tell you more about Singapore in the next video, so please stay tuned. And I was laying over in Doha for 20 good hours, and so I was like, you know what, this is going to be my chance to go and have a feel of Doha. So here is how it went. So I arrived in Doha airport, and it is such a fantastic airport because it's quite international. There's a lot of things to actually do within the airport. You can go shopping, you can go have some food, you can walk around the airport, you can take pictures and all these kind of things. And for sure, a big shout out to all the Kenyans that I met in the Doha International Airport. There's so many, and it is so commendable to see them grinding and hustling in Doha, Qatar. A big shout out to them. You guys are buddies and you're so amazing. You help quite a lot. And so when I arrived, this is what was one of the things that I felt as if I am at home, because you know, having someone who is speaking to you in Swahili, giving you directions in Swahili is so nice, and you feel at home for sure. So this is one of the things that I noticed. So when I arrived in Doha, I had the intention of definitely getting outside to go and explore. And so one of the things that I did was to book a tour, a guided tour using the Qatar Airways City Tour program. So Qatar Airways usually has a program that allows you to actually exit the airport if you have a long layover, which is for instance 6 hours or more, and you can be able to go and do a city tour that is usually organized by the Qatar Airways, and you can actually go ahead and see quite a lot in Doha if especially you have at least 3 hours to go for the tour. So one of the things that you need to do, if you're listening to this and you have never heard of this program, one of the things that you would need to do is, one, either to check whether you can book this tour online, and you can book it actually on your Qatar Airways app or website. And this is not a paid promotion, by the way. I'm just letting you know of some of the things that you can take advantage of as you travel, since this channel is all about you traveling and going to shoot your shot in whichever the city. Now you can book this tour online, or you can decide, if you just arrived in Qatar, then instead of going through transfers, if you have like a layover and you're waiting for your next flight, you would need to exit to the arrivals and go all the way to the desk, the Qatar Airways information desk, and request for them to book you the next tour. Now, it is very important for you to check the timings of these tours because they have various timings, and you can see which one works for you depending on your layover and your next flight, so that you're not getting late for your next flight for sure. So once you do this, usually the Qatar Airways information desk will help you with a transit visa on the spot, and you don't have to worry about, you know, getting another visa and all these kind of things. So you can be able to do that, or you can potentially get this visa before you arrive online and be able to see whether you can also do a tour by your own. If for instance you have a longer layover, then you decide to just get out of the airport all alone and do your own tour, you can definitely do that. One of the things that you will notice in Doha once once again is that it is very, very well connected in terms of getting by. It's so easy to go by metro or by Uber or by taxi, and you can easily get to the city center and enjoy the city center depending on exactly what you want to do and exactly what you want to experience. Now, during this tour, we were able to actually go into several places, and one of them is definitely the Souk Waqif, which is very, very well known. And I walked around Souk Waqif. One of the things that you will notice in the Doha is that it gets very, very hot. Very hot. And I am talking to the tunes of 47 degrees, almost 50 degrees depending. And usually it is said that their summer starts in June and ends in September, but no, it actually gets quite hot, I believe sometime from March all the way to October. So the best months to actually go to Doha would be anywhere maybe November, December, January, February, thereabout. That is when it's less hot, obviously, and you can be able to enjoy yourself even during the day. However, if you find yourself during the day in any one of the other months, you can definitely do this tour, because it is usually a guided tour whereby you go in a bus, all of you, and you come out and come back into the bus, which has a very good air conditioning, so you don't have to worry about that. So one of the places that we went was Souk Waqif, obviously, which is very vibrant, and you can be able to buy souvenirs there. You can be able to shop and also eat. There are several places, several shops that sell spices, perfumes, souvenirs, food, etc. And I'm told that it actually gets quite vibrant during the night. So you can also check that out if you find yourself that you have a night layover. Now, another thing that we also did was to go to the amphitheater in Doha. You can also go to the National Islamic Museum, and we also went around just to have a feel of the streets around Doha. We also went to the Qatar Cultural Village, which was fantastic because we could be able to at least have a feel of the real Doha culture. So Doha is known to be one of those places that is quite expensive. Actually, Qatar is known to be one of the richest countries that is known for its oil and natural gas. If you have also watched football or are a football fanatic, then you definitely have heard of it, because it was the host of the FIFA World Cup in 2022. And so these are some of the things that could take you to Doha just out of curiosity. And why not visit another country while you're laying over or going somewhere else? Now, one thing, obviously, because this channel is about life abroad, opportunities abroad, one thing that you will notice is that there are quite a lot of foreigners working in Doha, in Qatar per se, and this could be people from Kenya, East Africans, West Africans, people from the Philippines, and all that kind of jazz. I met quite a lot of them. And in fact, I met a lot of them working in the malls, in the Bellagio Mall. And so there are several opportunities that actually happen in Doha. However, you have to be very careful, because there are several agencies that usually offer these opportunities in Kenya, and you're able to get into jobs, especially during the peak months of, say, somewhere between November all the way to February. You can be able to actually check out these agencies and see which ones would work for you. Remember, this is something that you really do need to do a lot of research. I currently do not have exactly which agencies would be the best for you, but you can do your own search and see which agencies, for instance, in Nairobi would be recruiting for jobs in Qatar. And you would obviously need to have your passports ready. There's always a fee for this. And be careful with the terms and conditions, because there's lots of things that go around jobs within the Middle East and all these kind of things. So please make sure that you also do your own research. Another thing that you could do is, if you find someone who actually lives there, you can pick their brain and see what exactly are the jobs that could be offered to you, and you can see which ones would actually work for you and go ahead and apply them and do the whole shebang of the paperwork and all these kind of things. So I'm not here to tell you about this is the agency that you should check out. I would definitely do my own research, and if I find a very good agency, I can post it on another video on this channel. But do your own research. Whichever the case, Doha is one of those places that you definitely want to visit. If you are traveling on Qatar Airways, you can deliberately book this layover. It is very much possible, so you do not have to wonder and worry if you're a Kenyan and you're just like, oh, I'm just gonna stay at the airport. No, you can get out and be able to see the city and kill several cities with one travel, and you can at least be able to go and also interact with the locals. You can also meet a few Kenyans, a few East Africans, a few West Africans, and get to have a feel of the people and how life is like there, and get to understand whether or not, if you are looking to move into Qatar to work there, etc., then you could potentially be able to see that. This is obviously your own prerogative. Whichever the case, I really enjoyed my 20-hour layover, doing the most from going to one tourist attraction to the other. Also, I had a good photo shoot with one of the photographers right there, and you can definitely do the same depending on what you're thinking. How much did it cost? It was not as much because this is actually through the airline. So the tour is actually, I think it was $20-something. So it's not as much, honestly, so you can be able to afford it. And they take you from the airport, take you to the city, and then take you back to the city. So you're able to actually understand and have a feel of the city itself. If you want to go to the city by yourself, it actually would cost something between 40 to 50 Qatar Rial, which is about 10 to 13 euros, right, to the city center. However, it depends on where you're going as well. Please also make sure that you can check out so that you can budget these kind of things. And you can also go ahead and check out, you know, places to eat. It's not as expensive, honestly, if you're just laying over. You can also check out hotels, especially if you book a deliberate layover, like a night layover or like a 2-day layover with Qatar Airways. You can also get a very highly subsidized you know, rate for your hotel in a very fantastic hotel, believe me you. So you can check this out. This is not a paid promotion once again, but this is something that I thought that, you know, not so many people actually know about it. So I do hope that this video has given you that kick, that the next time that you're traveling and you need to lay over in Doha, then you can be able to actually take advantage of that, relax a little bit, go around and be able to see a different country altogether. So I hope this video has been an eye-opener of some sort, and please go ahead and like this video and share this video, subscribe, and keep tuned for my next video about Singapore, because I spent a whole week in Singapore and I want to tell you a little bit about it. And until next time, bye.